What's up, everybody? This is Jason from Straight Edge. Hey, got another video today for you. And then what? This is one that I've been probably meaning to do for a while, and for whatever reason, it just keeps getting put off to the side. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense to me why I haven't done this sooner. And it's not because I don't like this knife. I actually love it, and actually, you'll see when I show it to you that I use it quite a bit. And one other note to make here is please excuse my voice. It's a little shot out. Last night we were out at the 30-year anniversary Korn concert, rocking out and singing along, having a good time. If you follow me over on Instagram, you'll see some of the videos I posted of that. Had a blast doing that. Big shout out to Korn, man. Those dudes have been doing it for 30 years, and they're still bringing it. Anyway, I know this is a knife channel, so I digress. Let's move on here, guys. What we have here today for you is nothing that's it's not necessarily a new knife. It's been out for a while now, but it's going to be my first time actually doing the full review on it, and let's get to it. It is the Tops Knives Brush Wolf. Now, if you look at this bad boy, you can see I've been putting some work in with it. I mean, a lot of the tungsten Cerakotes kind of come off where I've been banging on this thing, using it, out when we go camping. I've used it to start fires. I've batoned with it. I've done a lot of stuff with this thing, and so in this review, I can sit here and tell you I've put quite a bit of use on this thing, and I love it, man. This thing is just an awesome blade. It's very versatile, like a well-rounded knife. You could do a lot of things with it. It's not quite a large knife. It's not quite a small knife. It's that good kind of in between, and you can actually choke back, do some chopping with it. You could choke up, do some fine work. Nate and Aaron Morgan designed this, and they put a lot of thought into it and what they wanted it to do, and I think it came out really, really spectacular. It's just a really good knife. To keep in your pack, in your truck. I mean, it's light enough to carry. But you know what? Let's get into the specs. So this is the Brush Wolf from Tops Knives. Overall, you're looking at 12.13 inches. You have a blade length of 6.5 inches with a cutting edge of 6.25. You have a blade thickness of 0.19. You are looking at 1095 high carbon steel with a Rockwell hardness between 56 and 58, which is typical of Tops. It's pretty much their go-to, right? You have a tungsten Cerakote. A lot of mine has kind of wore off over time. I beat up on it, I clean it, and use some Wicked Wax and triple aught steel wool, but I have a real nice distressed look on it right now. It's green canvas micarta handles. I think they have black G10 liners in here. Yeah, black G10 liners. You can see that right there. See, I hope I'm not too high with the camera. Knife weight, you're looking at 11.7 ounces. With the sheath, it's 17.7 ounces. Now, this does come with a brown leather dangler sheath. Very nice sheath, beautiful sheath. I actually had Aaron Morgan make me a Kydex sheath for my Brush Wolf. And so I put the brown leather sheath away somewhere. It's somewhere in my house. I haven't found it. So I can't show that to you, but these are the custom Kydex sheaths that Aaron Morgan makes for these. So if you're interested in this knife and you want a Kydex sheath, you can hit up Aaron Morgan. He can crank these out for you. Since this is his design, he has one. You probably don't need to send your knife to him. He can make it for you. But, this is the sheath he made for me. It came with, Kydex has this nice leather wrap with... So this is actually kind of a dual purpose backing on this one. I can either run it as a dangler, or I could actually just take the dangler off, and if my belt is thin enough, I could actually run it like a belt loop if I wanted to. It just depends on the thickness of your belt, though. But also have a fire starter on here, holder that he put on there, and this is the fire starter still that I have on here is like a Tops Knives one. So I kind of put some shot cord around here to kind of hold it in place, kind of undo that, and then you can pop it out and use it. But you could put pretty much, depending on the size of your fire still, you can see there, you could put just about any one you want in there. But guys, this thing is just a really cool blade. It's a fun blade. We're going to get over there, and I'm going to show you guys some of the, some of my typical testing and stuff with it, and we'll even strike the fire rod with it. But you got your little sawback teeth here for making notches and whatnot for traps or shelters. You got a 90-degree spot right here for striking a fire. You got a little bit of jimping for grip. Got this nice belly here. Swedges just a little bit here at the top, but you do have enough of a point where you can pierce into something if you need to. But this big sweeping blade, you can do a lot of camp, food cutting, food prep. um, I like to choke back on it, like to wrap my lanyard around, come back, and you can actually do some, like I said, kind of light chopping. This thing will actually chop fairly well for its size. Now, is it a massive chopper? No, it's not. You might take a little bit of extra work to chop through a bigger piece of wood, but being able to wrap your hand back here, kind of loop it, and kind of get that whip motion, you can actually chop fairly well. And I'll demonstrate that when we get over to the testing. But again, this was designed by Nate and Aaron Morgan of Houghton Era Outdoors, and they do have a Facebook page, and I believe they have an Instagram as well. I will leave links to those below. If their shop, I know they were working on a Shopify app to be able to purchase their blade designs, such as the Brush Wolf, their Parang Machete, the Solidago, and their smaller knife, the Kermit. And they also just came out with a new one called the Ciote, I think is what it's called. I haven't had a chance to get a hold of one of those yet, but if that website is up and running, there will be a link for it below in the description. So take a look at that description and see if it's there. So without further ado, let's move over to the testing area. Let's put this bad boy to some more work, right? Stay tuned. What's up, everybody? Okay, we're over here at the testing area. We're ready to put this bad boy to work. The Brush Wolf from Nate and Aaron Morgan over at Houghton Era Outdoors. Man, I tell you what, those dudes are awesome. I mean, they're out there designing stuff, making their own knives now. Super nice guys, man. They're super helpful. Definitely go check them out. They're worth following. They're always trying to show more things that you can do with your knife and survival stuff. They're just awesome dudes all around, great guys. And I tell you, they're going to be big in the knife world with the designs that they're putting out and just the effort that they're putting in. So here you go. Let's get to the testing. We're going to start off with this piece of Sisu rope right here. Little kind of thin piece. I can't remember what size this is, but we're going to come in here. We'll put the blade in here. Just do a boom, nice, easy cut right through there. Let's say you had to come in and chop it for whatever reason. Like you had to hurry up and chop it. Come in, easy, not a problem, right? It's just a good knife. Piece of cotton rope here. This is like 3 pieces that are intertwined together. This is, I don't know, I think I bought this at Hobby Lobby or something. It's nothing crazy, but I don't even have to really slice through it. I can actually just almost push through this stuff. That's how easy that is to cut. But come here, do a nice little chop. If you had to chop it, you could do that as well. Moving on to the bigger, thicker Sisu rope. Now this stuff is a pain in the butt to cut, obviously because it's really thick, but this stuff is also really rough on the knife edge as well. These fibrous materials, they put some sort of a really light adhesive like right, oh, excuse me, sorry. Man, I drank a soda earlier and it's coming back to bite me right now. Sorry about that, guys. So you can see right in there, it's like a almost like an adhesive type material. It's not super sticky or anything, but it's just rough on a knife edge. But if you're using this for something, you had to hurry up and cut it, you can come in here, do a whip chop, bam, pieces go flying everywhere. Not a problem. Use it, cut it up, do what you need to do with it. This stuff actually, again, if you use this stuff, it's really good. It's like I said, I've done this quite a few times. In case you're new to my channel, I'll show it to you because I do want to show off the fire starter. But if you take this Sisu rope and you break it all up like this, make it real fine, break up all the little individual strands. You can even use like the smaller Sisu rope if I don't drop it. Right there, you can break this stuff up, kind of just roll it around between your fingers, split all those little fine hairs up and stuff. Put all this stuff like in a nice little pile. And you can take your fire starter, right? So this is an Uber leaving fire starter thing. You can order these on Amazon. This thing works really good. I have the one that's on the sheath for Tops knives as well. I also have like a Bear Grylls one, but we're just going to use this one right now because it's right here. You can easily put this stuff right here on your, wherever it is you're going to work at. Take the knife. I like doing it like this. I like sticking the knife into the log. And then that way I have a little bit more leverage. Anyway, come in here. Bam, look at that right there. Fire. not a problem. So the fire starter works very, very well. It's like I said, it's a 90-degree spine. You can come in here, like I said, I'll make it rain some sparks, get this coating off. You can see those sparks flying off like that, and they're flying everywhere. So the 90-degree spine works very well for starting a fire, and which we have a fire now, and we need to put that out. Smother it, right? So smother it with the old catalog. Yeah, I know it's paper, but it's fine. It ain't gonna do nothing. So let's scoot this off to the side. Got a little bit of ember still, so I'm gonna have to kind of stomp that out into the dirt. But good to know, if you guys have like any of that sisu type rope, whatever, or keep a little strand of it or roll of it in your car or truck, you know, you can use that as an emergency fire starter if you needed to. Is it the best stuff in the world? Hey, if it gets wet, it might not light, but hey, it's better than nothing, right? So worth giving it a shot. So we're going to move on. Now that we've seen that the fire starter works, here we have ourselves a extension cord, and yeah, my goofy butt was doing some hedge trimming and hit it with the hedger and cut it. So now I have more electrical cord testing materials. But come in here, we're going to do a nice cut through. Bam, there we go. So there you go. Had to cut through some extension cord. You can. Obviously, there's 3 pieces of copper wire in there. They're all plastic sheathed, or you know, so you don't electrocute yourself. But had to come in here and cut that. You could, if you need to do a chop cut, you can come in here and cut chunks off. You see her going flying everywhere. Chop through nice and clean. It can handle all that without an issue. Let's say you wanted to do some stabbing, right? Let's do some stab testing here real quick. So you can got a nice little kind of ramp here on the back that you can put your thumb over. It's got a little bit of like a attitude adjuster right here in the back, or more for splitting open coconuts or walnuts or something, right? But you can kind of put your thumb over the top here. Let me get my lanyard out of the way. Put your thumb over the top, come in, let's do a stab here through this catalog. It's about, I say it's about 2 inches thick, 3 inches thick maybe. It's not a bad, you know, for a broad tip blade, the tip is right here. You see it poking it right there. That's the tip. We went, what, about a quarter of a way through that catalog. Actually went probably a little bit deeper. There's still some actual cut mark right here, all the way to about halfway through it. So there's still, actually, you can see that right there. There's a little hole kind of right there. So the tip went about halfway through, but because it's so wide, it's not going to necessarily puncture all the way through. It kind of stops like right in this area here. But I'll keep that pressed down, kind of fold it up. Well, almost might want to stand corrected here. So here's the very last sheet. Here's a little tiny hole right here. So the tip made it just about, it punctured pretty much all the way through. I mean, the tip is just barely right there. So yeah, that's a pretty good stab, right? For a, you know, that wide of a tip to be going through a catalog that thick. That's not bad. Let's do a little corner chop here. I like doing this. This is fun. It just looks cool. But we're going to do a little corner chop right here. Let's line this up. Oh, kind of missed the corner a little bit. Bam, there it goes. See all that paper go flying? Nice little, like I said, cut that off. Now I got a mess to clean up, but that's all right. I do it for you guys. Oh, almost forgot. The 3000 rated PSI pressure hose. This stuff is, you know, it's an air compressor hose. It's rated for 3000 PSI. It's tough. Bam, there goes a piece flying. You could chop right through this. Bam, pieces going flying everywhere. So if you had to chop some air compressor hose, you could definitely do that. Here we have the fire hose, right? So this stuff is super tough. It's abrasion and cut resistant. It is 3 layers. There's a layer of canvas. There's another layer of canvas, and then inside that layer of canvas, there's a piece of rubber that's glued to the inside of it. So this stuff is pretty tough. It's a pain in the ass to cut. Let's see if we do some saw cut here. Yeah, you're able to come in and do a saw cut right through this. Cut that off if you needed to. Let's say you needed to, let's do a chop. Now, I don't know if I'll be able to chop all the way through this in one chop. Depends on how well my aim is here. But, oh yeah, see, I kind of pulled back just a little bit and barely missed the last little piece right there. There we go. That's not the knife, guys. That's my crappy aim, okay? So there you go. So if you had to come in and cut through some thick, heavy-duty hose, you can definitely do it. Let's see how we stab through this, though. Yeah, right through it. Easy. Nice. So if you had to cut up some of this very cut and abrasion resistant fire hose, you definitely could. And keep in mind, that stuff is rough on the knife's edge as well. So that is used fire hose. It's been through car accidents and dirt and mud and grime, so it's got a real abrasive, it's abrasive to a knife's edge. It's almost like a mild sandpaper. So here we go. We got this wood dowel. We're going to get into the wood stuff here. Let's just cut a little, let's just do a little light chopping down to like a tent steak slash vampire badger steak, all right? So if you have to come in, do some light chopping. The reason why I would do this light chopping is just if you're in a hurry, you're in a pinch, let's say the storm's coming in, you know, and you're like, oh man, I got to hurry up and get some anchor down my tent or canopy, whatever it is you're using to sleep in that night. You might not have time to sit here and shave off a nice, you know, nice, super clean, symmetrical tent steak, right? So, you know, and a big shout out to all the victims of the hurricanes that have happened to. I don't want to say shout out, that's probably not the right word. My thoughts and prayers are going out to all the families and everybody that have been impacted by the hurricanes. And I know there's another one that might be possibly rolling into Florida right now. And Nate and Aaron, I know you guys are out that way, so prayers for you guys. Hope you're staying safe. And I know you'll be using your tools that you designed to help you stay safe. So sorry, didn't mean to digress. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on with that right now. And so keep all those families and everybody in your prayers, okay? So back onto the testing. So here you go. Like I said, we're making it, that storm's coming in. Got to make that tent steak, right? So you're in a hurry. You do the light chopping, bam, get it down to where you need it. Crap, dude, now I need a notch. What am I going to do? Oh, right here, you got the saw teeth on the back. So come in here and you can very quickly make yourself a nice notch. There you go. So a lot of people mistake these saw teeth on the back as like you're going to saw through a giant log or something. No, they're for making notches and things like that for traps and snares. And you could even, you know, probably find another smaller piece. You could, if I wanted to, I could probably come over here right next to this. Might take a little bit of time, if you know, because the small teeth are, this section of the small teeth are small, but you can come right next to where you just worked at and you can make yourself an even bigger notch. Well, if you keep making a bigger notch, you can interlay pieces of wood, kind of like the old Lincoln logs. So anyway, if you had to make a tent stake very quickly, you could, not a problem. So we're going to jump over here. We're going to grab this, here we got this little piece of 4x4, right? So let's say you needed to make some fire curls and stuff like that for your, you know, get your fire going. Now, I am absolutely a horrible feather sticker and fire curl maker. I will absolutely 100% unequivocally never deny that. I get a little better each time, but like right there, I just knocked off a piece. Kind of coming in here and you can hear that wood getting kind of cut. I got a heavy hand, so that typically what winds up happening is I'll get some nice ones going like this right here, if you can see that, and then I wind up pushing them off and cutting them off. But as you can see here, got some nice little curls here. You can easily come in, make some bigger ones. Oh, there it goes. See, I just cut a bunch off. But you can come in here and make some bigger slivers. Again, I'm working on a stump, so kind of they go flying everywhere. Again, I'm not an expert, but you can definitely make some bigger slivers if you wanted to. Another good way to do it is stick it in your stump or log or whatever you're using, and you can kind of come in here I actually really like doing it this way because I feel like I have a little bit more control. This is personal opinion. I feel like I have a little bit more control over the wood when I do it this way. So, kind of hard to see. Those are some really actual nice little curls, because if I can come in here and unroll one for you, you can see nice and thin, right? So if I needed to help start a fire with that, I definitely could. Kind of put that on there and get it going. So feather sticking, things like that, absolutely. This thing is one of the things they designed this for, is doing that type of stuff. Now, told you we'd get into a little bit of the chopping, right? So, you know, here's a little wood curls, right? Got a whole handful of them here. But, you know, with that rope and that and stuff, yeah, we could definitely get a fire going, right? So let's get into some chopping here. So here's a piece of 4x4. So you can tell I've been doing some chopping on this thing. But look, right here, we got a nice, clean corner section right here. So I'm going to choke back. I got the lanyard kind of wrapped around my head. Got my fingers down here on the bottom. Going to get that whip it good. Right, here we go. So we're going to do some, let's do 30 hits, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Now, I told you guys, this thing is what, 11.7 ounces? Look at that. That is actually a very, very good job of chopping into this 4x4 with a knife that light. Like I said, you can choke back on this bad boy and you can get that extra whip. If you wanted to choke all the way up on it, you can as well. But I really kind of like just the be able to choke back and get that extra leverage, that extra kind of whip on it, you know. It comes in here. Look at it. Hogging off chunks. Yeah, you can sit there and hog off chunks. Nice. Look at that. So, if you had to come in, kind of toss that on the ground. That piece went flying up there. Now, check out that edge, everybody. There's no damage to that edge. It's still rocking and rolling. It's good to go. It's still nice and sharp. I feel like I smell something burning. Maybe it's still a little ember burning somewhere. But if you had to get out there and do some batoning, this is a piece of seasoned almond wood. This stuff is hard as a rock. And let's say, well, this piece is just too big to help get your fire started for whatever reason, right? You needed to whittle it down a little bit, get some more manageable pieces. Now, this isn't too bad of a piece, but again, I like to show you guys how tough these knives are, right? So come in here over the top. Now, right here, no problem, but look at what's coming up here. Look at that knot. So we're going to see we can't get through that knot, right? Oh, look at that. Bam. Split off a piece of that knot right there, you can see. Edge is still fine. And the nice thing about this kind of tip, the way this tip is set up, is it doesn't really jack up your batoning stick too bad either. Now, a lot of people say, oh, you shouldn't be batoning with a knife. Yeah, you know, you're right, you know. If you have an axe, by all means use an axe. If you have a silky saw or whatever, yeah, by all means use that. But sometimes, man, stuff happens. And this might be just the knife that's in your pack that day, and your silky saw and your axe are back home in the shed, you know, and you're like, again, that hurricane's hitting, man. That tree's across the road, and you got to get that tree out of there, you know, to get home. Like, you know, you might have to do that chopping with this, or you might have to baton something, or, you know, I don't know, like, who knows, life's crazy, right? So it's nice to know that even though you shouldn't necessarily use this for that. It's nice to know that it can do it. And right now I am deep into that knot right there. So that's why if you're wondering like, hey, what's going on here? This thing, this is a nasty knot. Now, I am putting an extreme amount of pressure onto this knife and this knife edge by batoning through this knot. But again, I want you guys to see that if you did have to use this knife in a really bad situation, you'd be able to use it. Again, is it going to be the fastest tool? Maybe not. Like I said, right here, I'm having to work this stick, you know, but it is what it is, man. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. You guys see there, I'm getting through it, but it's taking a little bit of work. I kind of have to hammer one side then the other. Oh, yeah. Woo. Look at that, guys. Now, let's see here. Man, I can't even, I don't even think I could, oh yeah, I dug that in deep. Yeah, that's a good one. That is a really good knot, guys. Let's come forth, forth, back and forth. Now, there. Show you guys how crazy that knot is. Look at that. So that was that's definitely put a lot of pressure, a lot of hardness onto that blade. But so, is it still straight? Yes, it is. Still straight as an arrow. Still has a edge. So if you had to come in and cut that rope still, nice easy cut. You can still cut the rope if you needed to. So nicely done. But man, that was a heck of a piece of knot right there in that thing. Let's see what else we got over here. Here's another piece of, I think it was like a part of a 2x8. Hammer right through that. A little bit easier when there's no knots in it. That piece went flying off. Let's come in here and kind of do this. There we go. Yeah. So there it is, guys. So if you had to come in, do some heavy batoning, you could do it. It'll hold up. Again, do I recommend doing that all the time? No, I do not. But you know what? We're going to baton through this bad boy right here, just a little bit. We're going to see where we get with it. Okay. I do this stuff for you. I hope you appreciate it. And if you do, please hit like, subscribe, and comment. Greatly appreciate it. It does help the algorithm. Believe it or not, it really does, guys. So if you do like my content, please hit like or subscribe or comment. Might stand up for this one. Look at that. Splitting that wood. Look at that. Baton stick's holding up all right too. Actually, probably would help if I used a little bit heavier of a baton stick. Ow. Just smashed my finger. Don't worry, guys, I'm okay. Look at that. Split it. And I'm right down into a knot again, but look at it, broke this, basically broke that piece off, and I kind of got right down into that knot right there. So if you guys had to baton something a little bit heavier, you can definitely get into it. And let's see here, let's go. Let's make some little bit more fire curls real quick. This is that seasoned almond wood, so I had to come in here, shave some pieces off. Look at that. There we go. So definitely make some more fire curls. So guys, we're gonna wrap this up. Overall, guys, the brush wolf, it's just a great all-around knife. It's good to be good for, you know, your smaller task, even up to some of your larger tasks. Is it a big full-size chopper blade? No, but can it do some decent chopping? Yes, it can. You know, making your fire sticks, your fire curls, starting a fire, making notches, it can definitely handle all that stuff. This knife is tough because that is not the first time I've batoned with this thing. I've actually batoned with it quite a few times, and it still holds up fantastic. So as you can tell before I started this video, I have used this quite a bit. I've carried it. I love it. It's a great knife, and I would definitely highly suggest picking one up for your kit. If not for yourself, maybe you got a young Boy Scout or Girl Scout that you're raising your kids in there or something like that. I mean, this could be a good tool for them to learn with, because it has various different features to it for camping. Just a suggestion. I'm no expert, you know. What do I know? Take me for what I am. I'm a YouTube expert, so to speak, right? So but I think this could be a really good tool for a responsible young adult in getting out into camping, backpacking, things like that. It's going to be able to do a lot of that stuff for them. And then, you know, you cook up your tri-tip at camp, you'd be able to slice it up with this bad boy too. Dice up your onions and your bell peppers, and you chop up your salad, be good to go, right? So there it is, guys, the Brush Wolf, designed by Nate and Aaron Morgan, made by Tops Knives, 100% made in the USA. I will leave links below to various places you could purchase this. And again, if Nate and Aaron have their Shopify website up, I will have a link for that as well. And if you're interested in getting a Kydex sheath for a Brush Wolf, definitely hit up Aaron Morgan. You can find him on the socials, Instagram and Facebook. He's active in a lot of the Facebook groups as well. So there it is, guys, a Brush Wolf. I highly suggest you pick up one. I don't think you'll regret it. Thank you for watching. Again, please keep all the victims, you know, I say victims, I don't know if that's the right word, but please keep all the people that have been affected by the hurricanes in your prayers and thoughts. And, you know, if you can help out in any way you can through local charities, organizations, please feel free to do that. You know, I know those people who use a lot of help. So keep them in your thoughts and prayers. I greatly appreciate it. And to all my friends that are out there in Florida, Scott, you know, Choir Boys Cutlery, Nate and Aaron Morgan are out there in Florida. Houghton Outdoors, they're out there in Florida. Gear Shack, Justin Barnes, he's over in Kentucky. You know, we got Joe Flowers, Bushcraft Global, he's over in, I think, Tennessee. You know, a lot of these guys are great people in the knife community, knife and hunting community, and they're living in areas that are highly affected. So please, again, keep them in your prayers. I know I've mentioned that a few times, but I can't stress that enough. So thanks again for watching. If you like what I'm doing here, please hit like, subscribe, and share, and then go follow me on Instagram too. I'd greatly appreciate it. Stay safe, stay sharp, and we'll see you next time.